Have you ever felt your world spinning out of control? Chaos closing in from every side, and your heart pounding like a war drum? What if I told you that the secret to staying calm amid that storm isn't some mystical superpower, but a skill you can learn, a mindset you can train, a way of life practiced by ancient warriors of the mind, called Stoics? In a world that feels more unpredictable and overwhelming every day, from social unrest, personal crises, to constant noise and distraction, mastering calmness isn't just a luxury. It's survival. Asterisk today, I'm going to share with you 7 powerful Stoic strategies that will transform how you handle chaos. These aren't vague ideas, but actionable habits forged by philosophers who faced wars, plagues, and political upheavals and emerged unshaken. Asterisk if you want to move through life like a calm, unbreakable warrior with unshakable peace in the storm, then stay with me. This video could change the way you face every challenge forever. Asterisk number 1. Own your inner fortress. Control what you can. Accept what you can't. Imagine your mind as a fortress. When the world rages outside, people screaming, disasters striking, the unexpected erupting, your fortress walls can either crumble or hold firm. How do you build these walls? By mastering the ancient Stoic principle. Focus only on what you can control. Asterisk here's the truth. So much of what stresses us out is outside our power. Other people's actions, sudden events, even our past. When we waste energy battling those uncontrollables, we lose our calm and feel defeated. The Stoics remind us that real power comes from shifting your gaze inward to your thoughts, your responses, your actions. Asterisk every time chaos hits, pause and ask yourself, is this within my control? If the answer is no, practice radical acceptance. Let it be like water flowing past a rock. You don't fight the wave, you stand steady. Asterisk this is not about passivity or giving up. It's about reclaiming your energy for the battlefield that truly matters, your mind. Picture a warrior who does not waste strength fighting the wind, but uses that strength to sharpen their focus, steady their breath, and prepare for the next move. Asterisk practical step. When anxiety spikes, stop. Take a deep breath. Write down what's in your control, your attitude, your effort, your choices. Make a plan there. Release the rest. This simple mental discipline trains your mind to let go and stay grounded. Over time, your fortress grows stronger, unshakable. Number 2. Breathe through fire. Mastering emotional discipline in chaos. Chaos doesn't begin in the world. It begins inside you. When your heart races, your palms sweat, and your thoughts spiral out of control. That's where the real battle is. And if you want to stay calm like a Stoic warrior, you must learn to discipline your emotions, not destroy them. The Stoics weren't emotionless robots. They didn't preach cold detachment. What they practiced was emotional discipline, the ability to feel without being enslaved by feeling. That's the secret. Anger, panic, fear. These are natural, human responses. But a Stoic does not let these emotions lead him. He feels the storm, but stands still. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor facing war, plague and betrayal once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. It sounds simple, but in the heat of the moment, it takes true courage. So how do you practice this? Start with your breath. Yes, your breath. Your breath is the gateway between the body and mind. When the world erupts around you and emotions threaten to boil over, pause and breathe deeply, slowly, intentionally. Inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 6. This activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the part of your brain that says you're safe. You can think clearly. The ancient Stoics may not have had modern neuroscience, but they intuitively understood this. They knew that by training the breath, they could slow the rush of rage, calm the tides of fear, and stay centered even when everything else was falling apart. Now here's the deeper truth. When you learn to sit with your emotions, to observe them without reacting, you gain mastery. Emotional mastery is not suppression. It's space. It's looking at your anger and saying, "I see you, but I don't serve you." It's feeling fear and saying, "You can walk beside me, but you don't steer." You begin to respond, not react. Let me give you an example. Imagine you're in an argument. Someone insults you, says something cruel, maybe even lies about you publicly. Your first instinct is to explode, to defend, to fight. That's raw emotion. But what would a Stoic warrior do? He breathes. He detaches from the immediate sting and sees the moment as a test of character. He asks, "Is this person's opinion under my control?" No. Is how I respond under my control? Yes. He chooses silence or calm. Measured words, not because he's weak, but because he's powerful enough to control himself. That's the kind of man people respect. That's the kind of calm that shakes the world. Practical step. When emotions rise, train yourself to pause. Develop what the Stoics called the gap, the small space between stimulus and response. That space is where your power lives. Don't speak immediately. Don't act immediately. Just breathe. Feel the emotion rise and let it pass through you like a wave. Over time, you'll notice something incredible. Your reactions change. You become less reactive, more grounded, more commanding. People around you will feel it too. They'll see a man who isn't swayed by drama, not ruled by impulse, not dancing to the chaos of the world. And that presence, that energy, it's magnetic. The truth is, the calmest man in the room controls the room. Remember this. Emotional discipline is not a natural gift. It's a daily practice. The world will keep testing you with chaos, with conflict, with pain. But each test is a chance to train, a chance to grow stronger, a chance to become more stoic. So the next time life throws fire your way, don't panic, don't rage, just breathe through it. Like the warrior you're becoming. Number 3. Turn pain into power. Reframe chaos as a test of strength. Most people see chaos as a curse, something to fear, avoid, or complain about. But a Stoic warrior, he sees it differently. To him, chaos isn't a punishment. It's a training ground. Every challenge, every storm, every betrayal, is a test sent by life itself, not to break you, but to build you. This one mindset shift can change everything. The obstacle is not in the way. The obstacle is the way. These are the words of Marcus Aurelius, and they echo with timeless wisdom. Imagine waking up every morning and believing, truly believing, that every difficulty is a gift. Every setback is strength training for your soul. Chaos will come. That's inevitable. You will lose people. You'll be disappointed, rejected, betrayed. Your plans will fall apart. But what isn't inevitable is how you interpret it. This is where the Stoic separates himself from the ordinary man. Instead of saying, "Why me?" the Stoic says, "Try me." He doesn't ask for an easy life. He asks for the strength to endure a hard one. And that strength, it's not handed to you. It's earned in the fire. You don't develop resilience by reading quotes on Instagram. You build it by surviving what should have crushed you and choosing to rise anyway. Let me give you an image. Picture a blacksmith forging a sword. That blade doesn't come out strong and gleaming on its own. It's beaten, burned, repeatedly plunged into fire, and hammered into shape. Without that process, without that pain, the steel remains soft, useless, weak. That's what life does to us. It puts us through the forge. So when chaos shows up, when people leave you, when your plans collapse, when you hit emotional rock bottom, don't see it as the end. See it as the anvil, the place where you are reshaped into someone harder, sharper, more dangerous, and more calm. Here's a story that brings this to life. Epictetus was born a slave. He was beaten so badly at one point that his leg became permanently crippled. Yet he didn't become bitter. He didn't drown in despair. He used that suffering to cultivate wisdom. He believed that every pain was a pathway to power if you chose to use it. He once said, "Difficulties are things that show a person who they are. When you're calm in comfort, that's easy. When you're calm in chaos, that's character. So how do you train this mindset? You practice reframing. When something painful happens, you ask, what is life trying to teach me? How can I grow from this? What strength can I develop right now? Let's say someone betrays you. Instead of just stewing in anger or heartbreak, look deeper. What truth did I ignore? What lesson am I learning? How can I grow smarter, stronger, more grounded from this? That's reframing. That's Stoicism. It doesn't mean the pain disappears. No, Stoics feel pain, but they don't get lost in it. They transform it. In the modern world, we've been conditioned to chase comfort, instant gratification, quick fixes. But a Stoic embraces this struggle because he knows that's where greatness is carved. So here's your challenge. The next time chaos hits, pause, breathe, and reframe. Say out loud, "This is not happening to me. This is happening for me." Say it again if you must, until your brain believes it, until your heart finds calm within the fire, and eventually it will. Because the truth is, you are not weak, you're just untested, and chaos is your invitation to step into strength. You didn't know you had. So rise, stand tall, meet the storm with calm in your eyes and steel in your spine. Life is not trying to destroy you. It's forging you. Number 4. Silence is strength. Learn the power of stillness before reaction. In chaos, most people talk too much. They scream, blame, argue, lash out, because they feel powerless. But a Stoic warrior, he stays silent, not because he has nothing to say, but because he knows stillness is strength, silence is a weapon, and those who master it master themselves. Think about this. When a building is on fire, everyone runs in panic, but the firefighter moves with precision and calm. Why? Because he's trained. He knows that rushing, yelling, or reacting emotionally will only make things worse. The same is true for your mind. When life feels like it's burning down around you, your first move should be stillness. Silence is where you gather power. It's the space where emotion settles, where thoughts become clear, and where true wisdom emerges. The Stoics understood this deeply. They believed that before every action, there must be reflection. Epictetus once said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." In other words, respond slowly, speak rarely, listen always. Now let me be clear. Silence isn't weakness. It's not submission. In fact, silence can be the most intimidating response in a world that's addicted to noise. When someone insults you and you stay quiet, when everyone's losing their mind and you remain calm, people notice. They feel your presence. They feel your strength. Let's break it down. Chaos usually demands a reaction. An angry partner, a rude coworker, an online troll, a failed plan. Your ego screams, say something, defend yourself, clap back. But the Stoic warrior knows, the moment you react without thinking, you give your power away. So instead of reacting, he reflects. He lets silence hang in the air, not to avoid the situation, but to own it. Here's what silence gives you: time to evaluate what's really happening, clarity to separate truth from emotion, power to choose the best response or none at all. Imagine this: you're in a heated conversation. The other person says something cruel, maybe about your past, your value, your character. Everyone expects a reaction, but you just look at them, calm, silent. You don't flinch, you don't explain, you don't defend. You hold that silence like a sword. What happens next? That person becomes uncomfortable. The power dynamic shifts, because the man who doesn't react owns the room. That's Stoicism. But silence isn't just about external reactions. It's also about your internal state. When you wake up anxious, when your thoughts race, when your fears start screaming, practice inner stillness. Sit in silence. Breathe. Close your eyes. Observe your thoughts like clouds passing through the sky. Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Stillness gives you the space to see that truth, that the chaos in your head isn't always real, that most of your pain comes not from what's happening, but from how you're interpreting it. Now, here's a practice. The next time something triggers you, wait 24 hours before responding, especially if it's emotional. Whether it's a text, an argument, a decision, give yourself a full day to think. You'll be shocked how different you feel after time and silence filter out the noise. This delay is not weakness, it's wisdom. We live in a culture that worships reaction, instant replies, hot takes, emotional outbursts. But those things rarely lead to peace. They lead to regret. The Stoic lives differently. He chooses slowness over speed, calm over chaos, silence over shouting, because he knows a wise man doesn't react. He responds. So, what's the takeaway? Silence is not about doing nothing. It's about doing the hardest thing. Holding yourself steady when everything wants to pull you apart. It's about developing emotional control, mental clarity, and spiritual power that can't be shaken by noise. The calmest voice is often the strongest. Remember this. In chaos, stillness is your shield, silence is your sword, and when you master both, you become unstoppable. Number 5. Anchor yourself daily. Build rituals that ground you in the storm. Chaos is not always loud. Sometimes it's subtle, sneaky. It shows up as stress that creeps in slowly, as a feeling that something is wrong, but you can't explain why. It eats away at your peace, not with a bang, but with a whisper. That's why a Stoic warrior doesn't leave his calm to chance. He builds daily rituals to anchor himself, no matter what the world throws his way. You cannot control the external storms, but you can build an internal anchor, a routine, a rhythm, a sacred structure that reconnects you with your strength every single day. This is not self-help fluff. This is warrior discipline. Think of it like this. In the Roman legions, soldiers practiced drills every morning, even in times of peace. Why? Because when chaos arrived, they didn't need to think. They simply acted. The Stoics adopted the same principle for the mind. They trained their thoughts like soldiers before the battle came. So ask yourself, what anchors you? Most people wake up and immediately check their phones. They scroll through chaos, bad news, messages, deadlines. Before they even stand up, they've already handed their peace to the world. That's not Stoic. That's surrender. A Stoic warrior starts the day on his terms. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor of Rome, wrote a journal entry every morning. That journal became Meditations, one of the greatest philosophical works ever written. But to him, it was simply a ritual, a quiet place to remind himself of who he was, what mattered, and how he wanted to live. You don't need to be an emperor. You just need to build your own anchor. Here are a few rituals the modern Stoic can use. Morning silence. Spend 10 minutes in silence after waking. No phone, no noise, just you and your thoughts. Let your mind breathe before the world starts. Shouting. Journaling. Write down 3 things. What you're grateful for, what challenge you expect to face today, and how you want to respond. This creates a mental map for calmness. Stoic reading. Spend 5 minutes reading quotes or passages from Stoic texts. Let them enter your bloodstream like armor for the day. Cold showers or exercise. Train your body to handle discomfort early in the day. This reminds you, you are in control of your response, even to pain. Evening reflection. At night, review your actions. What did you handle well? What pulled you off track? How can you be more composed tomorrow? These aren't chores, they are weapons. Each ritual reinforces your foundation. Each one whispers, "You are not at the mercy of the world." But here's the deeper truth. It's not just about what you do. It's about how consistently you do it. Stoicism isn't something you practice only when things fall apart. It's something you build when life is calm. So when the chaos comes, you're already ready. That's what separates a reactive man from a stoic warrior. One waits for the storm, the other prepares for it. Let's imagine two men. One wakes up late, checks his notifications, rushes through breakfast, and scrolls mindlessly until work. The other wakes with the sun, breathes in silence, writes down his thoughts, trains his body, and reads wisdom. Which man do you think handles chaos better? Which man do you want to be? The Stoics knew that rituals weren't about control. They were about centering, about returning to your essence every single day, no matter how much the world tries to pull you away from it. So if you want to stay calm in chaos, don't wait for chaos to arrive. Build your anchor now. Start small. One habit, one moment of stillness, one morning journal. Build from there. Over time, your rituals become part of you. And when everything else is falling apart, people leaving, plans crumbling, the unexpected striking, you'll still have your foundation. That's the power of ritual. That's the Stoic way. Number 6. Detach from what you can't control. Master the art of letting go. Here's one of the hardest truths you'll ever face. You are not in control of most things. Not the weather, not other people's opinions, not the past, not the outcome. And trying to control what you can't is the fastest way to destroy your peace. The Stoics had a word for this madness: attachment to outcomes, to expectations, to how we think things should go. And the more you cling to those things, the more chaos you feel when reality doesn't match your fantasy. Some things are up to us, and some things are not. Epictetus, that single sentence holds the key to freedom. You see, the Stoic warrior doesn't waste energy on the uncontrollable. He sharpens his focus to the only thing he ever truly owns: his mindset, his choices, his response. Let me give you a real-world example. You apply for a job. You prepare. You interview. You wait. Then you get rejected. Most people spiral. I'm not good enough. This isn't fair. They should have picked me. But the Stoic doesn't crumble. Why? Because he knows the outcome was never his to control. What was his? The effort, the attitude, the preparation. That's it. This mindset is like armor, because once you let go of what you can't control, nothing can touch your inner peace. Your partner leaves. Painful, yes, but you can't control their choice. A friend betrays you. It hurts. But their actions are not yours. The world shifts. People disappoint you. Plans fail. But your response is your fortress. Most of the emotional suffering people feel doesn't come from reality. It comes from resisting reality, from refusing to accept what is. Think of a river. You can't stop it. You can't redirect it. You can't scream at it to change course. But you can float with it. You can move with its current. You can use its momentum to guide you forward, rather than fighting it until you drown. That's Stoic detachment. Now listen closely. Detachment doesn't mean you don't care. It means you don't cling. You love deeply, but without fear. You try your best, but without obsessing over the outcome. You live fully, without needing the universe to bend to your will. This is real power, because when you're no longer emotionally enslaved to what others do, say, or think, you become unshakable. Here's a simple exercise that can transform your thinking. Every morning, write down 2 columns. In the left column, what I can't control. In the right column, what I can control. Then list everything going on in your life. Stress, fears, problems, plans. Categorize each one. You'll quickly see how much of your suffering comes from living in the left column. Then, take your energy and pour it into the right. Can't control if someone texts you back? Fine. You can control whether you sit around, waiting, or use that time to grow stronger. Can't control the market crashing? Okay. You can control how you adapt. Can't control what others think of you? No problem. You can control how you show up, what you believe, and how you carry yourself with integrity. Letting go doesn't make you weak. It makes you light, and in chaos. Lightness is what helps you stay afloat. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself every day, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. So when life gets messy, when someone ghosts you, when plans explode, when expectations crumble, stop asking, why did this happen to me? And start asking, what's still in my control? Let go of the rest. Let go of needing people to act how you wish. Let go of needing life to follow your script. Let go of needing closure, revenge, approval, perfection. Let go. And watch how your calm returns. Watch how your breathing slows. Watch how your power rises. Not from force, but from freedom. Because the man who controls himself needs to control nothing else. Number 7. Embrace discomfort. The Stoic warrior trains in adversity. Here's a truth most people never want to face. Growth and peace don't come from comfort. They come from struggle. And the Stoic warrior doesn't just endure discomfort. He welcomes it. Let's be real. The modern world is obsessed with ease. Everything is designed to be faster, simpler, more convenient. We avoid pain, numb struggle, escape anything that feels hard. But the result? A generation of people who crumble under pressure because they've never been trained by adversity. The Stoics knew better. They believed that if you wait for hard times to toughen up, it's already too late. You must train now. You must voluntarily step into challenge so that when real chaos comes, death, betrayal, heartbreak, failure, it doesn't destroy you. Think about how a blacksmith strengthens steel. By fire. The metal is exposed to intense heat, hammered again and again, not to break it, but to forge it into something unbreakable. That's you. That's your mind. That's your soul. Marcus Aurelius faced wars, plague, betrayal, and personal tragedy, all while ruling the Roman Empire. And yet he wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." That's not just philosophy. That's a blueprint for how to rise. No matter what. So how do you do it? You embrace discomfort intentionally. You train like a warrior, not for war, but for life. Start with the body. Take cold showers, not because they feel good, but because they don't exercise when you don't feel like it. Not to look good, but to build mental resilience. Wake up early and face the quiet. Not for productivity, but for discipline. Then move to the mind. Have difficult conversations. Tell the truth, even when it's awkward. Sit with your emotions instead of distracting yourself. Feel pain and learn from it. Practice rejection. Go after things knowing you might fail, and let that strengthen your courage. And finally, challenge your soul. Give more than you take. Serve others, even when they can't repay you. Forgive those who hurt you, not because they deserve it, but because you do. Let go of control. Sit in uncertainty and trust that you'll rise from it wiser. These aren't just ideas, they're rituals of inner strength. Every time you choose the harder path, you chip away at weakness. You condition yourself to be unshakable, unbreakable, unmovable in chaos. This is what modern life has forgotten. Comfort has made many men soft, but the Stoic warrior is not soft. He is steady, not because life is easy, but because he's made peace with discomfort. He doesn't run from it. He doesn't curse it. He uses it. He doesn't say, "Why me?" He says, "Train me." Here's something powerful. Seneca, one of the wealthiest Stoics of Rome, would regularly sleep on the floor, wear rags, and eat plain food, not because he had to, but because he wanted to remind himself that he could. He wanted to train for loss, for chaos, for pain, so that if one day everything was taken from him, he would still remain whole. That's what Stoicism offers you, a peace that can't be stolen, because it doesn't depend on circumstances. A mindset forged in challenge, not comfort. A spirit that becomes stronger every time life tries to break it. So if you're in pain right now, if your heart is broken, if you're lost, if the world feels heavy, good. This is your training ground. This is your forge. This is where the warrior in you wakes up. Embrace it. Let discomfort shape you. Let loss sharpen you. Let hardship become your path to greatness. Because when you step into discomfort with courage, when you train your mind to say bring it on instead of make it stop, you become unstoppable. And that's what this world desperately needs. Not more comfort seekers, but more Stoic warriors, calm in chaos, fearless in pain, steady in the storm. Be that man. Now that all 7 Stoic truths have been revealed, let's finish strong with a powerful conclusion that wraps everything together and leaves your viewers inspired to take real action. Shall I continue with the final 100-word emotionally resonant conclusion? Just type continue and I'll write it right away. Here is the final emotionally impactful and inspiring 100-word conclusion, designed to summarize the core message and leave your viewers deeply motivated. Conclusion: in a world drowning in noise, chaos, and distraction, becoming a Stoic warrior isn't a luxury. It's a necessity. You've just learned 7 powerful truths to stay calm, focused, and unshakable when life gets hard. But wisdom means nothing without action. So start today. Train your mind, protect your peace, and lead with purpose. If this video stirred something inside you, subscribe, share it with someone who needs it, and drop a comment below about your biggest challenge or breakthrough. Remember, the storm is coming, but you were never meant to run. You were meant to stand strong.